Yo, how's it going, YouTube? It's your boy Lottie here, bringing you another YouTube video, staying consistent with the consistent uploads. And today's video is going to be about two things. What happened yesterday in the Call of Duty League on Friday, May 22nd, and also what's going to happen in my predictions for today, May 23rd. So let's hop right into it. And quick disclaimer, all thumbnail pictures and all pictures I include in this video do belong to Call of Duty and the Call of Duty League, so make sure you go drop a follow on their page, subscribe to all their social medias, and do what you guys do best. Show your support to the Call of Duty League, because without them, we will not be bringing you this amazing content today. So real quickly, I'm going to be throwing up the bracket on your screen so you can have an initial breakdown of the teams that faced each other during this time. So we have Royal Ravens versus the Los Angeles Guerrillas, Seattle Surge versus the Subliners, Legion versus the Huntsmen, Rocker versus Optic Gaming. So hopping right into game one, we have Chicago Huntsmen versus the Paris Legion. And oh my god, this was a very exciting weekend for any Chicago fan. We finally have the Twins teaming on the same team once again. And Arcides must be the happiest guy in the world, because I recall watching a podcast with him and Hex, and he was talking about how much he missed his brother. Him and his brother are pretty much inseparable, so it was very hard for them in the beginning to be on different teams, because from my knowledge, I believe they have teamed together in every single team since they've come up together. So splitting up, especially as twins, was definitely difficult. But now, with the Twins being back together, there should be nothing but straight championships. Arcides finally has his brother back. Pristini is also happy to be on the Huntsman team, to be with his brother, so they have that support, so they can support each other and continue to dominate in the Call of Duty scene. And for Paris Legion, unfortunately, we knew that Chicago was just going to absolutely destroy them. Chicago is still a top 3 team in my book. They're just a lot of talent on that team, especially with the brothers back together. It was actually the perfect opening weekend. You have a new team member coming into a formed roster, which they did drop gunless for Pristini. But now with Pristini on the team, it should lead them to more championships. But Paris Legion, we knew they weren't going to beat Chicago. It's just way too hard. Hopping into game number 2, we had the Royal Ravens versus the LA Guerrillas. This, in my book, is a very even matchup. These two teams seem to be on the same page when it comes to skill and standing. So both of them, it was and it should have been a very close game, which it did come out to be. It came down to a 3-2 victory for Royal Ravens. And now the Royal Ravens will be facing the Subliners today. That should be a very, very easy game for the Subliners, because the Subliners seem to be on fire ever since they picked up the god Mac. Mac is an absolute tank. Zuma is an absolute stallion. Very, very interesting game yesterday, which we'll be hopping into next. Hopping into it, we have game number 3. We have Optic Gaming versus the Minnesota Rocker. And oh my god, when I came home from work, I was able to catch this game live, and what an exciting series. Two teams, again, on the same level, going at each other. We have seen Optic Gaming come back from the slums. They were doing absolutely terrible at the beginning of the season. Minnesota was actually off to a very good start, but they definitely slowed down a little bit, but now they're picking back up. God RX is an absolute monster. He was going off. That S&D game was one of the best S&Ds I have seen in such a long time. Very, very exciting. This is the reason why we watch Call of Duty League, to see things like this, to see the pros go against each other and do insane things. Like God RX did a bunny hop and got a double with a sniper on S&D. Very, very big plays. But unfortunately, Optic Gaming did lose. I saw Dashi complaining on Twitter that his ping was 120, which is absolutely ridiculous. But what can we do in these trying times? We are living in the world of a pandemic, so there is no way we can have live events. And maybe if they do, there will be no audience, and the players will have to be far apart from each other. So it definitely could be doable, but I can see why Activision and the Call of Duty League do not want to take a risk bringing a bunch of people and flying people around just to meet up at LAN events. It's a huge risk to take. COVID is no joke. But it was a very exciting game nonetheless. So the series did end 3-2. It was a very back and forth game, a very exciting game from what I seen and what I caught at the very end. Those teams were very, very even in my perspective. And shout out to the Minnesota Rocker for actually liking my tweets and replying. You guys are absolutely awesome. Optic, I guess you guys were salty because I didn't get a single reply from you guys, but it's all good. No hard feelings. So now, hopping into Game 4, we had the Subliners versus the Seattle Surge. And oh my lord, the Subliners absolutely stomped Seattle. Mac and Zuma were all-stars, all games played. I believe this series ended 3-1. Octane is an absolute monster. Enable was going off in some parts, but it just seemed like the connection and the team chemistry just wasn't there for Seattle. And the Subliners steamrolled all of them. It was an absolute massacre. But oh well, maybe Seattle Surge will get them next time. And when things return back to LAN, things will go back to normal. And let's see if the Subliners can show up when LAN does return. Because we know back in the day, during when LANs were happening, they weren't doing so hot. But also due to believe that there were many roster changes going on with that team. And Sensor left the Subliners, was just absolutely insane. I guess because he wasn't getting any playtime. But wishing the best for Sensor and wherever he goes. But it looks like Mac is carrying that team. The Mac and Zuma chemistry is on point. That team is definitely going to go very, very far in the future. I would honestly consider them a top 5 team with the way that they've been playing. Very, very good. Bravo to the Subliners. Alright guys, that ends today's video for the recap. Don't worry, there will be a second upload coming out today of my predictions for this day, Saturday, May 23rd. I thought I was going to put it in the same video, but the video is going to be too long, and I only can do 15 minutes on the app I use, which is iMovie, to record my gameplay. So I cannot bring you that information, so just stay tight. Drop a like on the video, drop a comment, and tell everybody about Lottie, me uploading daily. It's what I do, it's my passion. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you drop a like, turn the bell notification on, and definitely subscribe. I'll see you in a little bit. And no, your audio isn't broken. My audio for the gameplay has been corrupted. There is a problem with my Elgato right now, and I'm trying to figure it out. So that is why you are not hearing the gameplay sounds. But it's okay, because you have my nice, soothing voice that you can listen to instead.